Hi, I'm Chris. I'm here with Megan. I'm going to speak to Donna today, so you can find out a little bit more about her. Again, she's been with Changes for quite a while. So, Donna, do you want to tell us how you got involved with Changes and what you do now?
Yeah, I've been involved with changes for about 14 years. So I've been employed for the last 11 years. I accessed the service myself as a teenager, probably for around about 6 months, and then I volunteered for 18 months until I got into post. So the role that I do at the moment, my current role, I say current role because I've had many roles within changes. We've been here for so long, but I'm now the training officer. So I deliver all the training to professionals and parents for the young people's team.
And what other roles have you had?
What other roles? Well, a wellness coach. I have been the service lead for the service in Stafford, which was a 3-year contract, and team lead for Stoke, and worked on various contracts and projects over the years. Yeah.
You've done a lot, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm also the safeguarding lead as well. We'll get that one in there.
And what has been your favourite role so far?
I think what I'm doing now, I do really enjoy the training as much as I love helping people and working with the children and young people. I think, we have to sort of move on a little bit, don't we? And I've been doing that for so long. That yeah, I think what I'm doing now, I'm really enjoying, especially the fact that it's become quite digital, well, very digital, the way that I'm working. So I'm pretty much delivering training, 3 or 4 times a week, sat in this corner here in my bedroom, and it's all working really well.
Good. So let's go a little bit more into how you got involved with changes. Like what made you go into mental health? Where did that move come from?
I experienced mental health difficulties as a teenager, as lots of teenagers do. And my friend, she was actually accessing the service at the time, and she was also volunteering. And she'd mentioned it to me a few times, and I just, as we all do, just sort of shrugged it off and said, "Yeah, I might go at some point." So I did go to a peer support group, and I remember being dropped off there and walking in and walking straight back out again, and I couldn't face it. I just thought, no, this isn't for me. I don't want to talk about myself in front of other teenagers. But I went away, spoke to my friend again, and she said, "Go on, just try it again. Like, you can just try as many times as you want to. You can, go to a different meeting if you didn't feel you wanted to go that one." So I thought, okay, I'll try again. Went back to the same meeting, and probably for the first 3 or 4 weeks that I attended, I didn't really say a word. I just kind of sat there listening to what other people had got to say, but it was helping me in some way, even though I wasn't talking about myself. I was taking on board a lot of the things that others were saying, and that kind of self-help and that sort of thing. And then obviously did start talking, and I'm still here now, and you can't shut me up.
Okay, so what do you think, if anything, is special or unique about changes?
It's just completely different from anything that I've accessed before. Um, I think the fact that the majority of the staff that work there have accessed the service or, experienced a mental health difficulty in some way, that it's just really comforting. I know when I first started coming to the service, like I said, I was very nervous, and I didn't want to say anything at first, but actually listening to other people, it was, seeming to help me more than anything that I was doing one-to-one. So yeah, I'd probably say that that's what's special about changes. It's just very unique in how we work.
Yeah, I think so. And where do you see, and this is a bit of a big question, where do you see kind of mental health, not necessarily changes, but mental health moving in the next few years? Do you feel any changes happening? Because obviously you've been involved with changes for so long, you must have seen such a progression in the mental health world.
Yeah, especially with children and young people, I think probably the biggest thing at the moment is social media and cyberbullying. So especially with, the current climate that we're in, people are using a lot more technology, which is fantastic, but obviously we know it's not always used in the right way. So I don't want to put a negative on it because, you know, I do feel that the work that we're doing, and especially, you know, with Staywell, how we're training up so many professionals in Stoke-on-Trent so that they can help children and young people. We are providing, you know, upskilling a lot of staff to be able to deal with those things. But with, you know, the current climate and the way that things are going, I mean, you know, waiting lists just kind of seem to be going up, and you know, obviously with people still working from home, it can be quite difficult. So I don't know when we go back face to face if we will have a massive influx of people. Yeah, so I think it's difficult to answer because, you know, I don't want to be too negative, but I think there is so much these days that wasn't about when I was a teenager, obviously, that affects people's mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. Let's do some more light-hearted questions about you, shall we? So, who is your favourite artist, band, singer? What kind of music do you like?
I like anything that I can dance to while I'm cleaning. That is literally, I just love music while I'm cleaning up around the house. And I can go from anything from like cheesy 90s dance music to R&B to Mariah Carey. I love Mariah Carey. I could listen to her all day. Yeah, so just quite a wide range, really.
That's a random one. Is it you who was playing Mariah Carey at Christmas? Was that you? Were you the
No, that was when it was on repeat.
Yeah.
That was loose.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
Thank you.
So, over lockdown, have you watched anything really good, like a film, TV series?
I don't really watch a lot. I sort of struggle to concentrate, but I have watched The Fall, which I thought was amazing. That was brilliant. Yeah, I binge watched that. And at the start of lockdown, actually, I watched the whole series of Shameless. So I watched them years ago when I was younger, and yeah, they were on Netflix, so I've been binge watching those as well. Yeah, and I've got the Disney Plus app, so I've been binge watching Disney films as well.
What's your favourite Disney on the Disney Plus at the minute?
Favourite Disney is always being Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, how good is
But
that?
I also love Alice in Wonderland. I do love that as well.
So do I.
Yeah,
what do you think of the new Aladdin?
The real life one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I prefer the cartoon versions of all of them. I do like it is really good. And like the Beauty and the Beast one as well. I think that's really good, but I do prefer the cartoon versions, the old school ones.
Yeah, I love the live actions. Do you watch Disney, Chris?
Not very often, no. I've borrowed somebody's Disney account so I could watch Hamilton on there. I've noticed Simpsons is on, so I've started watching that. There's 30 series to go through. I've just started the first one.
What type of films do you like watching? I know you've mentioned Disney and stuff, but do you have like a favourite genre or like a favourite ever film?
I love A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe. I love anything with Russell Crowe. And you said on your interview as well, The Notebook, that's definitely one of my all-time favourites, and every single time I watch it I cry, even harder every time.
Oh, I watched it again a couple of nights ago.
Did you?
I'm not going to cry this time, and then about 10 minutes in, because I know what's coming at the end, I'm like
I just think it's so lovely, just such a lovely story.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Do you watch horror?
Yeah, I do actually. I like horror films. I like anything that's a bit scary or thriller.
What's your favourite horror?
Silence of the Lambs, or yes.
Yeah, horror, is it? More thriller.
Thriller.
More thriller, would you say?
Some bits pretty horror.
Horrific, I suppose, in places.
Yeah, definitely horrific.
I wouldn't have said it was a horror.
I like the Hostel films as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a horror.
Yeah. And I've watched a new one recently called Host, and it's about Zoom. So it's a recent one where everybody's in lockdown and they're all doing like a Renaissance thing.
So that director was on about that yesterday. That was made in lockdown as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. Really, really good. It's only on for about an hour, but it kicks straight in. Like, I prefer a film that it starts straight away rather than.
It was based around a joke, wanted a joke or something originally, and then, I think a feature film recorded through Zoom.
Yeah, really
And
good.
is it on Netflix?
No, Amazon Prime, I think we watched it on.
Right, I'm gonna have to watch it then.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, they were talking about that yesterday. How very interesting. Backtracking a tiny bit, did you fancy Jamie Dornan in the fall?
He's not really my type, but I would say yes, he is a good-looking man.
Okay, so she's just admitted to fancying a psychopath. I'm not the only one. No, he's amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Yeah, I just had to ask you that because everyone I've spoke to have all said they fancied him, and it's quite disturbing, isn't it?
It's really. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. Okay, so have you got any pets?
Of course. I've got Mr. Wu. He's a little French bulldog, nearly 3, and he's just everything. He comes everywhere with me, sits with me all day. Obviously, with being in lockdown, he's just been constantly by my side. He's actually asleep at the moment. He's very lazy.
I want to be asleep right now. That's perfect.
So lazy. I think he gets it off me.
Oh, he is amazing. Hopefully he'll wake up while we're...
Maybe. If I shout him, he'll probably run upstairs. I'll shout him at the end.
Oh, yay. He is the shiniest dog I've ever met. Sorry, BB and Tilly. He is so shiny. I've never seen a shinier dog in my life. But you feed him like steak and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, he had tuna last night. He loves fish.
Oh, amazing.
He's my child.
He is, isn't he? Where is your favourite place to go?
I absolutely love Tenerife. I go Tenerife pretty much every year. Yeah, it's just nice there. I just feel at home. Like it's just always hot, and I enjoy the atmosphere. Know quite a few people over there now, just people that we've met from going, and yeah, I'd say Tenerife. Probably if we were talking about this country, I love Wales as well. I love log cabin holidays where you just don't go out of the log cabin and sit in front of a fire and eat loads.
Oh, that sounds perfect. Okay, Donna, so do you read?
I don't actually read, but when I last went on holiday, I did buy a book at the airport. It's on my desk here.
Dropping off your laptop.
The Rules of Life.
Oh, tell us about that. Have you read it?
Yeah, I have read it, but it was a couple of months ago now. But it's just basically gives you lots of rules that you should follow. Like not like strict rules, but this Richard Templar, who's the author, he talks about what's helped him in his life. And there's loads of different books in his series, but I am going to read it again because I read it on the plane. I was a little bit tired, and so I'm thinking, yeah, that's why I've got it out again. So I'm going to read that again.
Ah, I love reading.
I don't read a lot, but I think if I've got the time, if I've got a chance to, or like an excuse to read, then I will buy a book. But I just never know what to read. I'll go in the bookshop and look and come out with nothing because I end up not knowing which one to buy.
God, I'm the opposite. I come out with like 20 things. Like I'll read them all today.
I need some tips, some ideas from you of what to buy.
What I read is all a headache, really. It's all self-help. It's like
that's what I want. That's a little bit like the Rules of Life.
I'll have to bring you some of my books, see if I can inspire you. But I think the enjoyment of reading comes from fiction. I was saying this earlier, wasn't I? I think that's when reading's like escapism. Whereas our self-help stuff there's not escapism, it's more like studying.
Studying to focus on yourself, isn't it?
But I read one called Behind Closed Doors, and that was a thriller. And I don't know why I started reading it. Yeah, I do actually, that's a lie. I had to read something at drama school and do an interpretive dance piece to it or something stupid like that at drama school. And oh my gosh, I could not put it down. So maybe a thriller.
Yeah.
I didn't think a thriller could be like enjoyable from reading, but it's so good.
I like to watch thrillers, so perhaps a thriller book could be.
Start with Silence of the Lambs. You like?
Yeah.
To be honest, it is one of those where the film is a bit better than the book. It's one of the few examples, I think.
Really?
It's a little bit better than the book.
Yeah.
Still a good start.
Yeah.
What is your go-to comfort food?
Oh, I just love food. I can't pick. Um, mm, I mean, I eat loads of crisps. I'm trying to. I mean, I haven't had a packet this week at all. I've stopped buying them in the house because I'll just as soon as I buy them in, I can eat them all in one go, and it's getting ridiculous. So, um, yeah. So I've tried to give them up, and I'm eating a lot healthier now. But I suppose if I was going to have like a comfort meal, um, probably anything like McDonald's or KFC. I do like a KFC.
Oh yeah. Chris is like, yeah.
I had one today. It was lovely.
Did you?
So I had one at the weekend. That was nice as well.
And one the day before that was nice as well.
2 days over the weekend because it was one of those family feast buckets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Spread throughout your weekend.
Love Jamaican food as well, Caribbean food. Jerk chicken's one of my favourites.
Yeah, you always say that, Jamaican food. While we're on food, if you were a biscuit, what would you be and why?
What would I be and why? I mean, I love bourbon biscuits, so I'm going to say bourbon, but I really don't know why I'd be a bourbon.
What's your favourite biscuit, really?
Yeah, they're just really nice and chocolatey, and I love chocolate, so I love dipping a bourbon biscuit. I can get through a whole pack dipping them in a cup of coffee.
I feel like I need to go and buy some bourbon biscuits. Bourbon dipped in a hot drink. Unreal. So, Donna, do you have any hobbies that we don't know about?
I mean, I've been colouring over lockdown, so that's been quite therapeutic. Hobbies, I love walking.
Colouring, like mindfulness.
Mindful colouring, yeah. So I bought myself a couple of them. At the beginning of lockdown, I think everybody just sort of panicked and started buying lots of random things. So I started buying colouring books and pens and pencils. Haven't used them much over the last couple of months. It was more the start of lockdown. So that become a hobby, I suppose. But I do love walking. Anything that I can do with Mr. Wu, I enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could have any other job in the world that's not the one you've got now, what would you have?
I think probably if I didn't work for Changes, I might live abroad. I just love the kind of relaxed lifestyle. Maybe have a couple of jobs in a restaurant on the beach, or just something quite chilled like that. I've never really thought about that, to be honest, because I've done the job so long and I enjoy it so much. It's not something I've thought about, but I have talked before about maybe moving abroad one day, and I think that would be a really nice relaxed lifestyle.
And I mean, you've kind of answered it, but do you see yourself doing, what do you want to do after Changes? Do you want to stay at Changes? Is there anything else you want to do?
Not particularly. I enjoy what I do. I'm nearly qualified mental health first aid instructor, which is, give me another string to my bow, which I'm really, really proud about and really happy to start delivering that. So I think because I've done so much with Changes, and kind of every, couple of years, the contracts might have changed or I've done different roles, that I don't feel like I have been in the same job forever, because it is so different. So I'm here for for a while.
You're here today. So school, tell me about school. Was school good for you? Did you enjoy school? Did you have any favourite subjects?
I was a bit naughty at school. I enjoyed school. I didn't truant. I went to school every day because I enjoyed it. Not probably for what we should go to school for. I enjoyed more, just seeing my friends, being silly, causing trouble. So yeah, I had quite a good time at school. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favourite subjects? I know you weren't really there for them, but
favourite subject. Well, I did get an A star in performing arts.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do particularly great in my other subjects, but I always tell everybody about the A star I got in performing arts. And
that's all that matters.
Yeah, like I do sometimes think I wish I'd have done something further with that, but I suppose the job that I'm doing now, I'm performing a little bit in a way anyway, so perhaps I am using that a little bit.
Absolutely are. Yeah, without a doubt. Doing training and stuff like you do, constantly presenting, aren't you?
Yeah.
And in schools and stuff, and 100%. We're all actors in our team, aren't we? So during lockdown, have you discovered anything new about yourself?
I don't know about something new. I would say that I've become much more chilled out person. I don't let things bother me anymore as I would before. It's actually been a good time for me, I suppose, to try and concentrate on myself. I started exercising, eating healthier. That's only come sort of over the last couple of months. The first couple of months I was eating more and putting weight on and not really doing a lot. But I've, like you say, we've been working all throughout lockdown. So that's kept me busy, kept me focused. I suppose I've, been cooking a bit more, so learning different things in that way. Just, being able to manage my time a lot better, so life is a lot more chilled.
Have you cooked anything nice?
I did Jamaican jerk chicken actually. That was really nice. I'm always I put the slow cooker on a couple of times a week as well in the morning, and with being at home I can give it a stir on my lunch break, and so I've been eating a lot better.
There's something nice about being able to be at home and like make fresh food, isn't there? Rather than eating out of Tupperware boxes or sandwich shops or KFC if you're Chris.
I do miss the sandwich shop down the road where I used to get my pies from.
Oh, the smell of that when you used to get that.
I used to have pie and chips at least once a week.
What are you looking forward to most when all the restrictions finally come to an end, if we ever get there?
I am looking forward to going back into the office.
Yeah.
I do miss the human interaction and the giggles that we have daily. So I think, although I'm enjoying working from home and it is more of a relaxed way, it'd be nice to do sort of half and half, and just to be able to see everybody and have that social interaction as well. I just think social interaction in general. I mean, usually I spend quite a lot of time on my own. I enjoy my own company, and I suppose I've done that a lot more through lockdown as well. But I have been speaking to a lot more friends actually through lockdown that maybe I hadn't got so much time for before. Not purposely, but life obviously gets in the way, doesn't it? And I think being at home more get more time to be able to communicate with friends. But again, I am looking forward to being able to just sort of go out in more than a group of six. Not that, I usually go out in more than a group of six. I've only got a small family as well. But it will just be nice to, I think for everybody else as well, that I see, that is really struggling at the moment, to be able to see each other, and it'll just be nice for everybody, won't it, when we do eventually go back to how we were, if that ever happens.
We don't know, do we? Yeah. Oh, it's bleak. It's bleak and positive at the same time. If you could have any superpower, what would you have and why?
I think I'd probably want, I don't know, I was going to say fly. I'd like to fly, but I hate heights. So that probably wouldn't work unless I flew quite low.
Yeah.
Reason being, just I absolutely hate traffic. And I mean, that's another positive thing about working from home. I haven't had to put up with the drive to work and other people on the road. There have been lots of occasions, especially when I worked in Stafford, and I'd be going up and down the M6, and there'd be pretty much, an accident or something going on most weeks. And I'd be sat there thinking, gosh, if I could just fly, if my car only flew over this traffic. So I would probably say fly, just because I'm quite a late person as well. So flying would just make my life a whole lot easier.
If your friends could describe you in 5 words, what do you think they would say?
5 words. Probably loyal. Funny, I'd say, sense of humour, good listener. I do always offer an opening ear. Silly, probably. Don't act my age most days. Oh, you're my friend. You say one, Meg.
Caring, really caring. Yeah. But I agree with all the other ones. I'd have probably said funny. That would have been my first one. Okay, so last but not least, if somebody who is struggling with their mental health is watching this right now, what would you like to say to them?
What I'd like to say is I think for me, how I got through a lot of my difficult times, which I still occasionally experience, as we all do, just I think talking to people really helps. I think at the time you feel that people don't want to listen to you. Why would anybody want to talk, listen to my struggles when everybody has struggles? So I'd probably say talk to somebody about it, but also think about your lifestyle. I think that's something that has really hit me over lockdown, that a lot of the things that I do, including eating quite unhealthily, not moving so much, going to bed late at night, it's made me realise that actually those things are detrimental to my mental health. So I think it is all about looking at your lifestyle and what you can change. And if things still don't change for you, then it might be that you're experiencing something else that perhaps you need to talk to a doctor about. Don't be afraid to go and seek help and talk to somebody.
Yeah, lovely. That is a lovely note to end on.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Donna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
Bye.
See you later.